And what section are we? Okay. Yeah, good, good. So good. So it's kind of good to have the mix. So we just did a bunch of adding, subtracting, right? Now we're multiplying. So how do I multiply those guys? How about this thought? Should I look at them and say, hey, those are not like terms? Can't do it. Right? They're not like terms, are they? Right? 5x to the fourth and 6x, and those are not like terms. So can we do it or not?
Yeah.
In fact, let's do this. Let's do two problems at once. Make it more challenging. So if I was adding instead of multiplying. So over here we're adding, right? So if I was adding them, what would I do? How would I add them? Yeah, you can do nothing. You do nothing. Because they're not like terms. So for adding and subtracting, in fact, I'll write that, because they're not, I'm hearing voices with my voice. Please make sure everybody can hear me. Because not like terms. These are not like terms, so you can't add them, you can't subtract them. So everybody getting the hang of that? Adding, subtracting is very picky on like terms or not like terms. They've got to be the same or you can't do it. Whereas multiplying over here, we're going to multiply those two. So what are the rules for multiplying?
Basics.
Yeah, we had a section where we're doing some of this, huh? So for multiplying, we don't care about like terms. You can multiply anything. And what's the rule? Yeah, you multiply the numbers in the front. Multiply numbers in the front. And 2, add the powers, huh? So 5 times 6 is 30. And x4, x11. I'm sorry, x4 and 7 is 11. There it is. So is that difference clear? The difference between multiplying and adding, subtracting. Because our next exam, we'll have it all mixed up. Good? 3. Multiply those. Those are like fraction letter things. The first one's negative, notice. Do we need to get common denominators?
No.
Why not?
Multiplying.
Because it's multiplying. So you've seen this pattern? Multiplying's easy, huh? It's adding, subtracting that's picky about everything. It's adding, subtracting that requires like terms. It's adding, subtracting that requires common denominators, huh? It would be a lot better if algebra didn't have adding, subtracting.
It would be a lot better if algebra.
Yes. All right. So just multiply straight. Now you just go straight, don't you? Just top with top and bottom with bottom. We good there? Just straight. Don't need common denominators because we're not adding, subtracting. So here we go. 1 times 5 and 2 times 8. And it's negative, right? Negative front. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 8 is 16. Y2, Y6? Y8. Done. Good? No common denominators needed. We don't care about like terms. Just crank it out. All right, try number 4. Make it a little bigger here. It's 8x parenthesis 5x plus 3. Okay, so what's the rule? The 8x multiplies the 5x. 8x times 5x? 40 x squared. Yeah, because what powers do those x's invisibly have? Yeah, remember any letter that's not showing his power really has an invisible 1 power, huh? So remember what happens when we multiply number letter things? Out, I wrote right here, multiply the numbers in the front, add the powers, right? Out front numbers multiply, powers add, don't they? Out front numbers multiply. 8 times 5 is 40, powers add x squared. Plus, and then 8x times 3, 24x. Done. Good? All is well? Questions? All right. All right, so try number 7 there. So multiply again. Like you guys are getting it. So that's 7x to the 4th y goes boom and hits 9x squared. So out front numbers multiply, powers add. Powers on same letters add, right? So 7 times 9, 63. The x4, x2 makes x to the 6, and the y is still there. Good for the first one? Yeah. Next one, plus. So now the second one is going to be 7x to the 4th y times x cubed y squared. So out front numbers multiply, there's just a 7. Powers on same letters add. So x4 and x3 is x7. Y, invisible 1, and y2 is y3. Good. Last one. Now it goes to the third one. So 7x to the 4th y to the 1 times minus 9y squared. 7 times 9?
63.
And it's negative, huh? Negative 63. X4, y, invisible 1 and 2, 3.
4,
And there we go.
but we have positive 63x6, and we have the minus 63xy.
Talk about these two?
No, on the after the equal sign.
Right.
We don't cancel the 63.
Oh, with this?
Yeah.
None of these are like terms. We can't go any further because they all have a little bit different letter pattern. They're not like terms. Their letter patterns are not identical. Good question. Everybody see that? We can't add because now the multiplying is over. Parentheses are gone. Now we're here, no parentheses. We're in adding, subtracting mode, and adding, subtracting is picky. You can only add, subtract exact like terms. Letter pattern identical. And they're not. They're different. So we're done. Good question. So we good? On that, so making sense? You got to be careful about the powers, right? So the next chapter that I told you about that I want to get to and slow down, they'll have us do this backwards. That's what that chapter is all about. So you want to get this good, especially these ones, all you count all these powers. We'll do that backwards. You'll start with this. This is exactly what you do. You'll start with this, and they'll make you go back to that. They'll say, how does this, what did it come from? And you'll need to think it all backwards. So that's why you want to know this well forward. That's our hardest chapter. That's the chapter they begin Math 63 with. They overlap that chapter because it's real important. So you do get to see it twice. All right. Okay, so try that one. Take that 1/5 x squared and multiply through it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do it one at a time. This is kind of messy. I'm going to use the Karina method here and do one at a time. So this guy's going to go to all three, right? So I'm just going to do them one at a time here. So 1/5 x squared times 20x squared. And then down below that, I'm going to do 1/5 x squared times minus 15x. And then down below that, I'm going to do 1/5 x squared times 2. Then when all is said and done, we'll have our answer. Just three separate multiplications, isn't it? All right, let's crank it out. Here we go for the first one. So what happens when we do this first multiplication of 1/5 x squared times 20x squared? So out front numbers multiply, powers add, don't they? So this is 20 over 1. Remember what you do with a whole number when it's interacting with a fraction? You put it over 1 like that. And 5 goes into 20 4 times, huh? So it's 4x to the 4th powers add. Good for that first one? Let's do the second one now. So same thing here. This is whole number is over 1, right? Whenever you have a whole number interacting with a fraction, it's over 1. So 5 goes into 15 3 times minus 3x to the 3rd. Did you see that invisible 1 power and the 2 add? Is that good to there? How are we doing? You guys getting this okay? It's making sense? And then the third one. Now what happens on the third one? I mean, if I put that 2 over 1, nothing can cross cancel. Yeah, so it's just 2 over 5 x squared, isn't it? Because nothing can cross cancel there. All right, put them all together. That's it, those three. So it's 4x to the 4th minus 3x cubed plus 2/5 x squared. We are done. How many got it? Did you get it? That's good. Questions? Questions I can answer on that one? Is that okay? So now things are changing. So we just shifted gears. Did you feel it? The car just shifted into a little bit higher gear here. We're multiplying 2 parentheses. So not just one thing going through a parenthesis. It's 2 parentheses. So what's going to happen? Yeah, they take turns, right? You know what you would do if I just gave you 7 in front of x minus 5. You would know what to do, right? That 7 would just go boom, boom, and multiply both of them, huh? Right. So that's the 7. Now, if I just gave you x in front of x minus 5, same thing, right? You just go boom, boom. Well, it's given us both, you see. It's given us both. So it's double distribution. Double distribution. So let's do it. So here we go. I'm going to take this first one, and he's going to go to both of those two. And when he's done, the second one will have his turn, and he will go to both. Does that make sense? It's first to both, second to both. First to both, second to both. You good there? All right, here we go. So x times x, what happens?
2x.
Yeah, invisible 1 power, invisible 1 power. We're multiplying right now, right? We're not adding.
X squared.
Yeah, if we were adding, it would be 2x, but we're multiplying. So it's going to be x squared. So far, so good. We're multiplying. We're not adding numbers in the front. We're adding powers. Now the x goes to the minus 5. Minus 5x. He's done. First to both. He's had his turn. Now it's the 7. He's going to go to the x plus 7x. And plus 7 times minus 5.
Minus 35.
Minus 35. We good? I will. Yeah, I'm going to do one more step. We good to there? What we have so far? Now, we have to combine further, don't we? So the multiplying is over at this point. The multiplying is over. So I multiplied through those parentheses. The parentheses are gone. No more multiplying. I'm going to shift now to adding subtracting mode. Like good? So now that I'm in adding subtracting mode, what's going to add and subtract?
Minus 5x and 7.
Only the like terms. Yeah, the two in the middle, huh? Remember when you add subtract, only like terms can do that. So it's going to be x squared minus 5x plus 7x plus 2x minus 35. There's our final answer. So did you all track with that? So it was first to both, second to both. It's like double distribution. Now, a lot of people call this by a certain name. I'm sure some of you know that name.
Binomial.
Foil. Yeah, foil. Yeah, and that's fine. If you want to think about it that way, that'll work too. F-O-I-L. This is another way to do it. I don't commonly do it that way, but that's fine if you're good with it that way. What does FOIL stand for? First, outer, inner, last. Yeah. So the F stands for first. The first one in this parenthesis times the first, right? It's first and last, first and last. So the first one in this parenthesis times the first one in that parenthesis. That's what we did. O, what do you think O stands for? Outer. The two outer ones. Negative 5 times x, that's what we did. I. Inner. The two inner ones. 7 times x, that's what we did. And L. Last in this parenthesis times the last. Last times last. 7 times negative 5. Negative 35. That's what we did. So we're doing the same thing. But some people like that FOIL just to kind of keep them straight. Oh yeah, first, outers, inners, last. Kind of keep all organized. Great. You like that? Great. I just think first to both, second to both. And it's the same result. Either way you want to think about it. But it's super important. We're going to do 1,000,000 of these. And then in the next chapter, we'll do them backwards. And they get actually kind of hard. They'll give us real challenging ones to do. It's going to be one of the hardest things is undoing these in the next chapter. So you want to learn them well forward where you can do them in your slate because you're going to have to do them backwards. Let's try that one.
10.
So multiply that. First to both, second to both. Or FOIL. So multiply number 10. In fact, let me just rewrite it. 2x squared plus 1. 4x squared plus 3. Okay, so multiply that. First to both, second to both. Or FOIL. So here we go. So there's the first and the last. So this first one goes to both of the other two. First to both, then second to both. All right, so here we go. So it's going to be 2x squared times 4x squared. Out front numbers multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. Powers add x to the 4th. 8x to the 4th. Good to there? Plus, and now the 2x squared goes down here. 6x squared. So that first one went to both. He's done. I'll cross him out if you want. You don't have to. But I'm just keeping track. So that first one went to both. First to both. Now, the second one will go to both. Plus 4x squared plus 3. That good? Bring it on down. So now the multiplying's over, right? There's no more parentheses, right? Whenever you start, whenever you multiply them, afterwards the parentheses are gone, aren't they? The parentheses have dropped off. There's no more multiplying. Now I go into adding, subtracting mode, which means I'm looking for like terms, huh? Do you see any like terms?
Yes.
Middle two. It's usually the middle two, not always, but usually. 10x squared, and you don't make that x to the 4th, huh? Because now I'm just adding numbers in the front. I'm not messing with powers anymore because the multiplying's over. There we go. How are we doing? You get good at that so you can do it backwards in a couple weeks? Feeling good about that?
Stop.
All right. Okay, try that one. So multiply on through there. So first to both, second to both.
Huh?
Shooting x squared minus 11x plus 1.
Yeah, there you go.
So that means
So it's just the middle two combined. At this point, this is it's not minus supposed to. But I guess multiply is over, that's what you know.
Nobody's talking.
which x? But then I go by order.
Good, we getting this? Show me all the steps. Oh, so far so good. Yeah, that's the first step. So far so good. Good. Let's move it on ahead. Okay. Good. Good. Right, right, right. So it's good. And it's excellent. I mean, you got it. Right.
What about the one?
Yes, yes, good, good. So far, so good, really good. And now these two are
You
good.
don't put the one.
What you get?
You don't put the one.
Where'd you think that?
You need the one.
So that'd be one. One times one. No. Oh, these are not multiplying. Multiplying is How are we doing? We getting this one? Yes. Good. Kind of reordered it, huh? Yeah. Good. Good. Moving on here. Okay.
They support you.
Right, because they're adding subtracting. Adding subtracting, we only do the
Not
number.
happy when you study.
You need Jesus. Yours? Seems broken. Why?
Just
Did you hear it now? All right, so let's crank this out. So here we go. So this first one is going to go to both. So let's track real. About half of you are getting it and half of you are not. So track with me really careful. So it's first to both, second to both. Remember 2 weeks, we're going to do this backward, much harder. So track with me forward. It's going to take time and effort. So first to both. All right, so 1 times 1, we're multiplying, right? So always be clear in your mind. Be focused and clear. Am I multiplying right now or am I adding, subtracting? I'm multiplying. There's parentheses. So I'm multiplying. 1 times 1 is 1. And 1 times minus, now that minus is on that 6x. That's his baby. Anytime that 6 interacts with something, it's a minus 6. Bless you. And this minus, let me just put it on 5. I think it might help if you'd write it that way. You don't have to, but that might kind of clear up what's going on. That minus is on the 5 and this one's on the 6. You know, they're not really in the middle as much as they're on the guy they're in front of, you know? So here we go. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times minus 6x. Minus 6x. Good. He's done. First to both. He's done. His turn's over. He multiplied both those two. Now, the minus 5x is going boom and boom to both. So minus 5x times 1 is minus 5x. And minus 5x times minus 6x. Two negatives multiplied to be 30. Is it x? Squared. Remember? Remember when you're multiplying, those invisible 1 powers must add. That's a mistake they got a lot of people. Does everybody see that? So you've got to be crystal clear on the difference between the multiplying rules and the adding subtracting rules. When you multiply things, powers add. Invisible 1 powers add. When you multiply. Not when you add subtract, right? So everybody good on that? In fact, it'd be helpful if I wrote it on the board. So when we add subtract, so I just multiplied, right? And the multiplying is over now, isn't it? That's why I made x squared there, because the invisible 1 powers. And now multiplying is over. So now you got to shift your mind and go, okay, I'm in adding subtracting mode now. I'm not multiplying anymore. The parentheses are gone. So I'm with a whole new set of rules now. I'm with adding subtracting rules. So what are the adding subtracting rules?
Minus of minus.
These two in the middle. Like terms only, huh? Like terms only. And these two in the middle. Now I saw a lot of people taking those two and making those 30. But remember, we're not multiplying. Multiplying is over. I'm not going 6 times 5. I'm adding subtracting, right? That's why you got to shift your mind into the new mode. The parentheses are gone. So this is just adding subtracting. So minus 6 and minus 5? Minus 11. And is it x squared? No, you don't mess with powers. When you're adding subtracting, it's only the numbers in the front. And I'm adding subtracting now. There's no parentheses anymore. And then just bring down the 30x squared, bring down the 1. There it is. You can reorder it. Do they want highest power to lowest? I didn't even notice. Let me will. Yeah, so it's fine for now. We good? We need to try another one of those. Questions before I move on?
All right, there it is. Give it a try. It's the same thing. We multiply first with the multiplying rules, and then we add subtract after the parentheses are gone. Let's see. Looks like you guys are on track. So the 7x goes first to both. So I'm in multiplying mode right now, right? Got parentheses. So that means I'm going to multiply numbers in the front, add powers. What powers? The invisible 1 powers. So 3 times 7, 7 times 3, 21x squared, plus, and then 7x times 1, 7x. So he is done. Now this minus 11 goes to both. Minus 33x minus 11 times 1. All good? Multiplying is over at this point. The parentheses have vanished. So now I go into a new thinking, adding, subtracting, where you just do the numbers in the front. So these two, 21x squared. 7 minus 33, what is that? Minus 26x minus 11. We good? Looked like we're good. So I cruised around. Questions on that one? All right, so let's take a look. So, okay, so it's just taking turns, right? And the multiply rules, out front numbers multiply. Let me put the invisible 1 powers on those guys, just for clarity, right? Any letter not having a power really has a 1. So here we go. This goes to all 3. So first to all 3. And as he goes, out front numbers multiply, powers add. So it'd be x cubed minus 3x squared plus 7x. So he's done. He's out of there. And now it's the minus 6's turn, huh? So the minus 6 will go boom, boom, boom. So minus 6x squared plus 18x minus 42. How are we doing? Is that good? So that was a minus on that 6 as he went, right?
Yeah.
Is that good? Now the multiplying's over. No more parentheses. So I change modes, huh? I change into adding, subtracting mode now. And I just think, okay, only like terms, only numbers in the front. Don't mess with powers. Right? When you go into the adding mode. So we say, okay. So x cubed, let's start with the high. I'm just going to go highest power to lowest. Although you don't have to. X cubed, he's in a class by himself. Just x cubed. Next I'll do x squared. Minus 3x squared minus 6x squared. Minus 9, right? Just out front numbers, don't mess with powers, huh? Because we're in adding, subtracting mode right now. And 7x and 18x. 25x. And finally, the minus 42. Is that good? Is that making sense on that? You ready to do that backwards? No, we got a couple weeks. We'll practice a little bit more. There is actually a good reason for doing those backwards, although it seems like just torturous. What's that? Well, we'll talk about it for a whole chapter. We'll devote a whole chapter to it. Okay, so try that one. It's the same kind of thing, right? Multiply. As you multiply, out front numbers multiply, powers add. You guys are on track. In 2 weeks, you will be ready to do them backwards. So this 9x is going to go to all 3. And as he goes, out front numbers multiply, powers add. 9 times 4, 36. This has an invisible 1, and so does that. X cubed. And 9x times 2x, 18x squared. 9x times 4, 36x. He's done. He went to all 3, right? First to all 3. Now the minus 4, it's his turn. He's going to go to all 3. Boom, boom, boom. Again, out front numbers multiply, powers add. Minus 16x squared minus 8x minus 16. Good so far? Now, let's take them from highest power to lowest. 36x cubed, he's in a class by himself. There's nothing with him. 36x cubed. Okay, next. 18x squared minus 16x squared. Right? I'm in adding, subtracting mode now, huh? Parentheses are gone. Multiplying's over. So I'm just adding, subtracting. I'm just doing numbers in front, not messing with powers. 18 minus 16 is 2x squared. Next, 36x minus 8x. That's 28x. And bring down the minus 16. And that's as far as we can go. Is that making sense? Is that good? All right.